Just had a 10-minute conversation that did not get recorded on audio.
Yeah, none of it,
So
actually.
it's just a really cool video of just that video camera just observing the smallness at this table.
Yeah, the swollenness. Well,
The swollenness.
this podcast is actually called Lanky Lifts.
Lanky swole.
Lanky swole. Lanky Lifts. 6'3.5", 6'2.5", very lanky.
Very, very lanky.
And we told great stories in the past 10 minutes, which didn't get recorded, about how I started weight training at 14.
I started at 14 as well.
And
high
I'm
school.
26.
And I'm 32 going on 33.
So we both have a lot of
Yeah.
experience weight training. I have 4 years of personal training experience coaching others. And Brandon.
I'm in my 9th year professionally with coaching people with health and fitness.
And the crazy...
And nutrition.
And
Yeah.
nutrition, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, to an extent.
Yeah.
To a certain scope, of course.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we're in our scope of practice. Yeah. I mean, yeah. But for the record, we both started at Princeton Fitness and Wellness around 23. I was 22.
I
He
was
started when he was
24. Or whenever the hell that was.
in the same, both in August. Just different
Yeah,
parts of
just
life.
different parts of-
Just some years apart. The stars are aligning for the Lanky Lifts.
We were trying to see how freaky it would have been if we literally started at the same weekend in August.
Right,
Just different
like
years. Yeah.
like August 20th,
yeah.
but 5 years apart.
Or
or whatever
Dude, that'd
it
be
is.
weird if that was the
It
case.
would,
That
it
would be
would.
so weird.
I mean, we're both tall and lean.
Awesome though.
Yeah,
yeah.
it would be. Yeah, I remember actually seeing you when we would go to trainer meetings and saying, yo, who's this long-haired lanky lifter, man? I'm a fellow lanky lifter, but I didn't really know Brandon well. But yeah, that was a good place to start.
You had that crazy hair too. You had much more flow through the top.
Yeah, I was
It
23, man. I was 22. I mean, I was
Did
flowing.
you have the beard at that
I was
point?
flowing.
Or no?
Yeah, I always experimented. I had like a goatee.
That's right. Yeah.
Goatees are cool.
You've
they're,
got that.
They're
that-
like porn star.
You have that
though.
structure. Though.
I'm not like a male porn star. You either have a goatee or like a stash, dude. And I'm not about it.
But you it was longer, wasn't it though? And then
Yeah. The goatee was long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
do you have that head? I can't do the goatee though. It doesn't look. I have to do like the full beard thing.
Yeah, but you have a long head like me though.
Dude,
So-
if I shave my face,
Yeah.
I look like I'm 14 years old. I swear
back
to God.
in time. We're
I
going
do.
back in time.
I know.
14 years old.
Like,
How weird is that? That's when Brandon started lifting.
Not-
So we couldn't do this podcast because we would have no
all right.
experience.
Not 14. More
to
like
educate
more
you.
like 18. I
18.
look 18. And
18.
Yeah.
18. Okay.
Baby face. But
Yeah.
listen, I'll take it. It's good to look young.
Yeah.
Youthful.
Yeah.
Youthful.
It definitely is. But I mean,
We're still going. It's still. I
know.
can see. It's
beautiful.
We're still on.
You could see how we've
Yeah.
tried to start this podcast maybe 5-6 times.
Yep.
So people are gonna see this and say, "Oh, podcast, man! Everyone does a podcast.
Remember-
about time you started one."
Remember-
yeah, we know.
Remember in my living room at the house before I moved in, we were at the table.
I have the
You
video.
could see the door in the back, like off.
There was a green towel.
There was a green
draped
towel over the door.
eloquently draped.
Oh, jeez, man.
But yeah, it's cool. So
that was in the winter. No,
It was.
Yeah, no,
It was cold.
It was before the winter.
it was like fall.
I think it was October, November time
Yeah,
period,
it
right?
was fall.
I have it on my. Yeah. We
And you
recorded it.
Yeah, I'm excited
Yeah.
about the fall. It makes running easier.
It does.
You know.
Breathing.
Especially during these times.
God, it was so hot.
Where
this summer, man.
COVID, affects the respiratory.
95 and humid. God, it was horrible.
Yeah, it's tough.
Oh man.
But yeah, I mean, you have so much experience. I have so much
True,
experience. You have more. You're older. But we have a lot of education we can bring to people.
Well, I just have more time.
Yeah,
I just have been in it longer.
right. More heartbeats.
Doesn't mean you wouldn't catch up.
More heartbeats.
You probably would catch up. I think you'd probably
Right.
even surpass it.
Right, we'll see.
Well, that's
Praise
if I,
the
that's,
good Lord.
that's if I stopped.
If I keep on going. Yeah.
If I stopped,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see you stopping.
No, I'm not stopping.
Because
man.
your your individual personal training services that you bring to people is doing
No,
good.
Yeah, I'm not stopping.
It's doing good.
No, it's. I'm going ham now. It's completely.
Tell people on Instagram or
Yeah.
Facebook where they can find you.
Journey _fit NJ is Instagram. Facebook, I have just my name, Brandon Swanner.
Yeah.
That's my personal page. I also have a Journey Fitness page as well. That's more for business stuff. But
Yeah, more business. But-
I have LinkedIn too. LinkedIn.
Yeah.
That's just my name, Brandon Swanner. I
Cool.
think that's not Journey Fitness.
Cool.
So I haven't converted that yet, but I mean, I want it to be. I haven't done that on purpose because I want it to be associated with my name too. So like,
That makes
Brandon
sense.
Swanner to be Journey. Like that's.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's the opposite actually with music. You don't want to associate your personal
No, you
life
don't.
with
No,
your
you don't.
alias.
No,
You know what I mean?
I figured that out.
Yeah.
Jay Frio up in here.
Yeah. He tries to like Venmo me something, or he's typing in Jay Frio, and I'm like, that's an alias I created that doesn't really exist.
I literally typed in Jay Frio to PayPal just now. I was like,
That's amazing.
I'm missing the Donna part. Dono.
That's amazing. There's a Dono in there. There's a Don. The Don Corleone.
Yeah.
But I mean,
No.
yeah, man. Yeah.
It's been interesting though with the fitness and stuff.
For yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing the stuff that I was doing, at 25. I've expanded into more dynamic nature stuff.
Elaborate a little more. You're talking about exercises for yourself.
That
That are more dynamic and for your clients.
Correct.
Because you've learned more about like functional movement and dynamic movements.
Yes, correct. And what more of what the masses are looking for, not just like, because I used to be all about the bodybuilding world, like all about it.
Right. Myself too, yeah.
I watched the YouTube videos of all the pros, all the IFBB pros.
Right.
All those guys. It was like exhilarating to watch them build their and how massive they were, but how shredded they were too. Their training styles, what they would do, their sets, their reps, their eating.
Don't you think for males, females too, but males trying to grow and go in the bodybuilding community, high school, college, when you really have the attraction, getting big and large muscles, hypertrophy, but also staying shredded, for most guys is the gold standard ideal of what they want.
I think for the masses it is, a lot of it. I would agree with that.
And people
For sure.
scratch their heads because they're either one or the other, hard gainer or hard loser of weight. Right?
True. Well, I was one of them. I was a hard gainer.
Hard gainer.
Dude, I was so...
How much rice did you eat on a daily?
Rice, pasta, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
It works, but you have to overdo it way too much, and it's uncomfortable, right?
I would eat almost like... Not in a weird way, but I would eat almost to the point where I couldn't eat anymore.
Wow.
Well, because that's what I learned through all these videos.
Bodybuilding.
Like you're
watching Jay Cutler and Phil
you almost
Heath.
have to like overeat. If you're a hard gainer, you have to eat massive food quantities.
Truth. And carbohydrates a lot, right?
Oh, dude, I would have up to or exceed 1,000 grams of carbs a day. 1,000. But I was also
So
not
much.
sitting on my ass though.
So much. You were burning it.
I was doing a labor job.
Look at you, dude. You burn calories from chewing gum, man.
Dude, I burn calories from blinking.
Yeah, I think you do. 0.5 a blink.
I do.
Yeah, you could share that with your mom. Impress her with that stat. I don't know if that's true, by the way, 0.5. But I know you burn calories from chewing gum. You burn calories when you drink cold water and your body has to heat it up.
The thermogenic. Yep.
Yep. So you burn, and like you'll read about in books if you study it that the organs just need so many calories. The brain needs so many calories just to operate.
Carbohydrates.
Yeah, that glucose.
But all the macronutrients, like meats, the proteins, the carbohydrates, and the fats.
Yep. All
but
very
don't forget,
important.
of course, I feel like a lot of people neglect to have the fruits.
Legit
not even the
fruits.
vegetables, because people are.
You're saying people will eat the vegetables but kind of neglect the fruits?
Or they'll be like, I don't want vegetables. Like the vegetables is more on the forefront of people's minds because they don't want them more often than not than the fruits.
Right, because that's an interesting point, because what stays on our mind is
It's
a
what we
lot
don't
of
want.
what we don't want,
Yes.
what we're scared
Yes.
of is always in the forefront.
Or it's like not attractive. It tastes like shit. Whatever it is. Yeah.
But let's go back to that. So vegetables are on the forefront of people's mind.
I go off on tangents. I do.
That's great.
It's bad.
That's great. That's what we're here for.
It's
Lanky
bad.
Lifts is about tangents and tangerines. Okay, vitamin C and lifting. All right. But people have been drilled into them since they're a kid, like Brandon, Jay, finish your broccoli before you get up. So we know vegetables are important. We probably don't like them growing up. A lot of people don't like them when you're young.
Well, that's why it's the parents' job to make sure the kids understand why they're eating them or why they encourage them.
Yeah.
And my parents did a phenomenal job with that.
Education,
There was a vegetable on every plate.
What was the reasoning? Was it just eat it, man?
Nutrients.
Yeah.
Nutrients.
And you just kind of said maybe that'll make me
just-
strong
it's
like
health-
my brother.
It was healthy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was healthy.
Yeah.
They just said, eat your vegetables, eat your vegetables, eat your
Yeah.
vegetables. It was healthy. So we just did.
Yeah, I'm similar.
I didn't always finish them,
Right.
but I definitely ate them though.
Right.
I was never like, ugh, you know.
Right. Do you have a dog?
I don't now.
Did you when you were younger?
So we got a chocolate Labrador Retriever
Yep.
when I was 9,
Okay.
and he lived for about 8 years.
Okay, so that's perfect.
So we had to put.
So what I'm saying is, the chocolate lab was getting his vitamin K.
That's where you were
and
going
his-
with this.
And his
Okay.
phytonutrient. That's where I was going.
That's where you're going with this.
But I agree. My parents did a great job too. So in our minds, we're blessed to where vegetables were seen as something that we might not want, but we do need in our diets if we want
it's
to
a
be
staple.
efficient.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're
And
saying
I was so lean, just because of my DNA.
right.
Like, thank God for my
That's more
for
of
my
a
parents,
blessing,
of course.
Yeah.
But I was actually a little bit underweight growing up. Because I grew tall.
Yeah.
But I stayed thin
Right.
because I didn't like fill out until
Right.
I was in my 20s. Even now I'm
Right.
So
right. No, yeah.
My mom actually had me on this this Boost nutritional drink from back in the day.
Oh, was it
Boost.
chocolate
It actually might
or
still be
vanilla?
out now.
Yeah, I know.
I think it was vanilla.
It's
I
a good
think.
drink.
But it's
For protein?
for just nutrient intake,
Oh,
just
okay.
extra nutrients and whatnot.
Okay.
Because my body just would burn so
Vitamins,
much. I
yeah.
just wasn't getting enough.
Minerals,
and
yeah.
not that like I wasn't fed enough. Of course, that's not the case.
Right.
But like my body, because I grew fast.
Right.
I grew 7 inches in 1 year.
What year was that?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I would love
I don't
to.
remember being in pain though. I wasn't
Dude,
in pain.
can you imagine like second grade, you finished the year and like Samantha and Jessica and Kelsey, they're like, yeah, Brandon's cool. And
Those
then you
are
come back third
those are
grade
interesting
and
name
they're like,
choices.
Brandon's cool. Brandon's as tall as my dad.
At 8 years old.
Yeah.
No. So it was. She actually took me off of it not too long after I was on it.
How long did you drink Boost for?
A couple months, but
okay.
the sugar content was high, and
Yeah.
she didn't want. We weren't even allowed to have she didn't. There was no sugary drinks in the house. There was no
Yeah,
grape juice.
that's great.
There wasn't
awesome.
orange juice. She
That's
just
awesome.
didn't. She knew like my mother especially knew what the sugar would do to us, and she just.
Well, she was way ahead of her curve now.
Oh yeah.
Way ahead of her curve.
Yeah.
I mean, 2020,
Yeah,
that's
we
almost
weren't allowed to have
common
sugar.
sense. But in the 90s,
Yeah.
that's information
Yeah.
that only
I
the
know.
wisest
The
of the
wisest-
wise have uncovered in PubMed.
Only the celebrities knew that stuff.
PubMed. I'm like a freak in the 90s that searches PubMed and knows all the nutrition. But yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I stopped doing that, and then I don't remember what it was after that, but I don't actually think it was anything. I think it was just more food.
Okay.
Just more food at that point.
Okay.
So
Yep.
I was a carb king. I've always loved carbs.
Oh, me too, dude. Me too.
Dude, I could just eat bread with mayonnaise on it. Literally.
That's where we
Just
disagree.
take 2
but
slices of bread
awesome.
and just smear mayonnaise on it and like enjoy it.
I eat at least
I
four.
was, I was a sick child.
So that was your go-to. Toast or bread? Toast or bread?
No, just bread.
Interesting.
The potato bread.
I don't do potato bread. I do potatoes or bread, but I could combine them. I'm a fan of both.
You should make your own.
Lanky
Lanky
bread. Hey, guys, buy that. It will have all the carbohydrates through the roof, fortified with more
man.
carbs. You never heard about fortifying with more carbohydrates.
But
I love bread.
It's interesting.
I love bread.
Me too.
Well, let's put it out there. If you are overweight, maybe if you're overweight and over-consuming calories, stuff like breads add up, and you have to be careful about what you eat. We burn a bunch of calories, and we have very good metabolisms, and we exercise a lot, and we have a lot of nutritional education about the way sugars break down, so breads don't really harm us. But for some people...
Well, it depends. It depends on everybody reacts. Everybody reacts differently to bread, and everything. Pasta, rice,
Those are good
all
things,
that
dude.
stuff.
As an
It
Italian,
depends on your DNA.
As an Italian,
man.
pastas. I mean, my dad always says every time.
Italian
You see, I would come up
Italian
through college. I would. Oh, we're both Italian stallions, just stallions. When I was in college and I became a nutritional freak, who digested everything I ate to extreme, we would be having pasta, right? Sunday meals at pasta. And I'd be, oh, guys, pasta turns to sugar. Look it up on the glycemic index. And they're like, Jay, stop. But my dad...
Jay, stop.
My dad would always say, JoJo, my great-grandmother, rest in peace, she would live till she was in her 90s, and she would eat pasta 3 times a week. So you're right. It depends who you are, your genetics, a lot of environmental factors, right?
I think more of it, in my opinion, is actually what your DNA is versus even your activity level and how much energy you burn. I know
your metabolism.
I've seen your metabolic rate, all
type,
that stuff.
Type, your profile.
Yes, yes.
Your profile. Yeah.
Good word.
Metabolic
good word.
profile.
Yes, yeah.
I don't hear that used a lot, but you know who said it first.
I give you all the credit, man. That's fine. I'm not trying to steal from you.
But you're right. So what are you saying? It's individualized, right? DNA.
Yeah. It's all about it breaks down more to DNA than anything else.
Yeah.
It does. For me, particularly, I was able to overload on carbs and nothing would happen. I would not gain a pound. I would not gain half a pound.
Do you do it now? Overload on carbs?
At the age that I am, in my 30s now, it's definitely different. I approach it different. I've noticed that even for myself, I burn energy at a pretty high rate still.
Right.
Especially.
Right.
I don't do the crazy bodybuilding workouts I used to do. I'm much more dynamic now, and I get stuff in. I get some stuff in mixed in with with the clients I train.
So you might sacrifice burning a little bit of calories, but more skills come out of your workouts.
I'd say I sacrifice burning probably about 300 calories a day.
Okay.
That I used to versus now, but then I just changed what I eat. So it's just I eat.
Yeah.
And the times of day matter too with what you eat.
Right.
So I eat heavier stuff with a heavier nutrient profile. Like if I want a burger, I'll have it for lunch.
Right.
Versus dinner. Not always, but most of the time. Like sometimes I'm just like, screw it. I want to. I feel like having a burger. But
and how close to bed matters a lot too.
It does.
So if you're eating dinner, it's going to sit in your stomach. It's not going to get digested as well.
If you need to eat before bed, if you need to satisfy something, make sure that you choose wisely and pick something that's not going to rapidly spike your blood sugar. You don't want that to happen overnight because your body. Think of it like the sunset. How the sun goes, through the sky.
Right.
It's not. It doesn't burn hard in the morning. Of course, it gradually. By like 2:00, it's ripping.
Right.
Right. Our bodies are the same way.
Yeah.
So like
energy levels are the same way.
You fuel up in the morning.
Yeah.
So that way your energy levels are at their highest midday, up to like 4:00.
Whenever your cortisol peaks.
I'd say like 11 to 4 is your optimal energy burn, right?
Yeah. Maybe it peaks at like 11, 12, 1, but it's still really high at 2, 3. But
honestly,
then
I think
it
peaks at 2.
Well, it depends when you wake up.
True.
I wake up at from 3 to 4. So I'm peaking at like 11, 12, and I'm going down by like 5 or 6. You may be going down at like 7, 8. You know what I mean?
True.
But you're absolutely right. Think of our bodies like the sun. We're rising, we're burning hot, and we're slowly going
slowly
down.
coming off of it.
Yeah. So when you're coming off
it's like a caffeine rush.
Yeah.
Like it,
Yeah,
actually,
we all know that way too well.
That actually might be a bad example because caffeine can hit people at different times. Like for me, if I take caffeine in, like let's say I take like 150 milligrams, like let's say I drink a cup of coffee.
Right.
It's a strong cup of coffee. Right. I'll feel the caffeine within 20 minutes.
Right.
And then it will like last for like maybe 40, and then it'll taper off. So that might have actually been not a very good example.
Caffeine has a 4 to 6 hour half-life. So if it's noon and you drink a bunch of caffeine,
it's still in your system.
4 to 6 hours later, you're still going to have half the amount of caffeine. That's why you might hear 12, 1, 2, 3. I recommend personally, if you're going to bed at like 8, 9, 10, don't have caffeine after 2. Because think about it. If you have a bunch of caffeine at 2:00, 6 to 8 o'clock, you still have half the amount of caffeine in your system.
I can agree with that because I've done that. I've had caffeine around 6 o'clock in the evening.
Oh, it's late, bro.
I definitely noticed a struggle to fall asleep that night.
I like 10.
Like those nights, yeah.
I like 10.
Oh no, it's and then you watch YouTube and because you can't fall asleep naturally because it's still in your system, so it's still doing its thing.
Yeah.
Right. If you eat nothing but fruit all day.
Right.
I mean,
There are diets out there.
there's sugar in fruit. It's
I'm
called,
gonna do a detox, Brandon.
It's called
Brandon. My detox is only apples and bananas. Are you telling me this is no good? Are you telling me that my nutritionist giving me 9 fruits a day and only fruits may not be the best nutrition? No, I'm just kidding. But
moderation.
it's good stuff. Moderation.
Quantities.
Moderation.
There is fruit and sugar, but it's not bad. It's not bad though.
Right.
It's fructose.
Right.
Your body needs that too.
Yeah.
You just don't want to eat handfuls and handfuls and handfuls throughout each day.
Right.
You don't need that.
You don't.
I would say 2 servings. 2 servings a day of both fruits and vegetables is ideal.
And I
2
prefer,
servings.
I prefer getting the fruits in earlier in the day for your levels.
I agree.
For your levels.
Breakfast.
It's like feeding the sun.
Dude, let's talk about breakfast.
Okay, let's put it out here. I'm a
Since we're talking about fruit,
huge proponent of breakfast, no strings attached, so you're going to know where I'm coming from.
Literally.
Yeah.
I follow that same line. I'm parallel to you.
Wow.
Completely parallel.
Lanky breakfast,
It's
man.
non-debatable.
Non-debatable.
Breakfast is non-debatable. I tell all my clients, breakfast, non-debatable. You have to have it.
All right, let's start with reasons. Let's go back and forth.
I'd rather them miss lunch than miss breakfast, if they do.
Ooh, that's big. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a fun game where we're going to go 1, 1, 1, 1 reasons why you should eat breakfast.
Let me clarify something real fast with what I just said. I don't want them to skip lunch. I'm saying if it was going to happen.
Yeah, if you had to choose.
If you had to choose, not even choose. If it was just going to happen, I would kind of prefer it to be lunch versus breakfast.
Okay.
Your body needs.
I know what you're saying.
When you wake up within an hour of your body rising and coming out of the fog and all the stuff,
That's what happens when you wake up. Start my day. I jump out of bed
what
like a
does
rocket.
yours sound like?
Mine's like another day sick.
How is that again?
What?
How is that again? How was it?
How was what when I wake up?
Yeah.
Another day sick. No, legit. Sometimes I wake up before my alarm clock and I'm like jazzed. I know that upsets some people because like my sister, if she watches this,
unfortunate.
She has a bunch of snoozes. Like she'll do 4 snoozes, and me, I've never hit a snooze. Ever hit a snooze. Only during a nap in college. I never hit a snooze.
What are you, Eric Thomas?
No,
I'm sorry. No. Doctor Eric Thomas. Respect.
I love Eric Thomas.
I know.
No alarm clock needed. My passion wakes me up.
Before I found Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, right?
Yeah.
Eric Thomas.
It was ET,
Eric
right?
Thomas.
Hip-hop preacher.
Hip-hop preacher, yep.
But yes.
Thank God it's Monday. I loved it, dude. I loved it. The arms open, everything was awesome.
Yeah,
it was
I love
awesome.
that.
And then I found Gary V, and I've kind of been on a Gary V kick for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gary V's awesome.
Yeah. He's anyway.
We're not going to bore
tangents,
you. We're not going to bore
tangents and tangerines.
We're not going to bore you with all the reasons why you should eat breakfast. But first off, I'm going to let Brandon speak.
Well, shit, I would.
Just understand that if you are going to work out early, okay, you're going to need energy. And if you're someone who doesn't want to eat anything before your workout, I don't advise that idea. I understand intermittent fasting, but let me put it this way. If you want the most efficient performance in your workout, you're going to want to eat something before your workout.
Correct. However, everybody works out at different times of day.
Right.
So, not to get off that totally.
So let's get an example. Let's give times.
So if you're an early riser, if you work out at let's say you work out at 6 a.m. before work.
Yep.
Right. Not everybody wants to eat something right then.
True. You better damn sure load up on carbohydrates your dinner before the night before.
Right. And that's a whole different conversation. That's another part that we'll talk about later, either today or at a different podcast. But
so what do you recommend?
When you wake up for your workouts, right? I would say a lot of people don't eat anything, so they do a fasted workout, right? Which is not the worst thing.
No,
but there is a chance.
We both experience with intermittent fasting in our lives.
There is a chance that they will get, throughout the workout when they're sweating, you're losing electrolytes, so there's a chance that you will get lightheaded or dizzy, right? Not the worst thing in the world, but you have to get because your blood glucose drops rapidly,
right?
So you have to get that back up,
right?
So. With that said, though, at the very least, I would say have like a half a banana.
That's what I'm saying. But here's the other thing, Brandon.
That's it.
I'll tell you
It'll
mine.
just be enough.
Here's a secret. Here's a secret for anyone who was wondering. Probably not a lot of people were wondering, but I'm going to say it anyway.
I love the energy. I love it.
I have a piece of toast, plain toast with nuts before I go to the gym.
Okay. Yeah.
A little
carbs and fats.
Yes, because the carbohydrates are the flames, but the fat are the logs.
Dude, I love your analogies.
Are the logs.
I love them.
Are the
I love how you come. I love
bro.
how you come alive when you say it
Well,
too.
dude, it's the logs. You can have the flames like your banana, which, by the way, I agree with Brandon. You may not like to eat, but a half a banana is better than nothing. It's better than nothing.
Of course it is. Well,
it depends what your
it depends
goals
on the
are.
person too.
We're
So I
being
don't want
general.
to. I don't want to say it's. I don't want to make any kind of drastic conclusions with this. Like
Right.
It
depends.
It depends on who you are.
Yeah,
and
we're
how you
talking
and
very
how, and how your body
generally.
responds
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
I could do a fasted workout and nothing will happen to me.
Right.
And I'm fine. And
Right.
I just go slam a meal afterwards.
Right.
I have a smoothie or a protein
Right.
shake.
All right,
with,
so let's be clear. Let's
Right.
help someone.
Yeah.
Let's help someone. They work out at 7 or 8 a.m., right? 6 to 9 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
They don't love breakfast, and they wake up too early to feel like they can eat a breakfast, but breakfast is important to eat before. Let's talk about some things they can do. Half a banana, right? Something light,
Right.
little bit of fruit.
You could do a rice cake
Yeah.
with some peanut butter spread on it. Mm-hmm. Nothing crazy.
Right.
And not a lot of peanut butter. Just a little bit for just to get it
Yeah.
down or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe an egg or two with a little fruit.
Right, because you're only listen. Even if you're doing a high intensity training workout,
Right.
even in the mornings, right? Okay, especially.
Yeah.
You don't need, in my opinion, from what I've discovered, you don't need a lot. You don't need to consume a lot to
Right.
get just enough energy.
Yeah.
For the